If you found an influencer you'd like to work with,
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
here is an example of an email that you would write to them. As you can see, it's very brief. There's a purpose for that. You have to be extremely clear and to the point. If you're confusing, even if they might want to promote you, if you're a bad communicator, a lot of people might reject you on that basis. So your subject will be something like, I'd like to hire you as an influencer to promote my product. You actually can reduce this and just say, I'd like to hire you as an influencer. It's very direct. And this is up to you, up to your taste. You can go the shorter route, the longer route, totally up to you, whatever you feel like sounds better for what you're doing. The shorter version will fit more nicely in cell phone screens so that the email title doesn't get cut off. But the longer version is a little bit more specific and therefore clear. Neither is wrong. Either works. I'm just giving you two preferences. Whatever looks good to you. Now, the body is also important. So they look at your email. First of all, it's extremely important that you find their name. Nobody wants hi or dear or something, right? You put their name. So you put their name like this. That's just totally fine. At least in US, that's totally accepted even if you don't know them. Now, you want to tell them what you are promoting, if it's a product or a website or something else, and then you link to it. The link here is just example.com. This site, it's a random example URL. You would link to your website, and then you ask them one essentially question. Are you open to creating social media posts or YouTube video to help me promote it? I'm willing to pay. That's it. See, it's very clear. I'm willing to pay. So they know it's paid. You're not wasting their time. And you're asking this question essentially, right? So it's only one question. There's a specific reason for you asking only one question. The answer is yes or no. If it's no, you can ask them why not. Most of the time, you probably would just leave them alone. But like, if no, maybe it's not, the product is not a fit, or maybe they just don't advertise, in which case it'll be really hard to convince them. So you don't want to convince too much. But if they reply yes, you see this email is extremely clear. I'm promoting this. Are you open to promoting it? If yes, you go to email number 2. So you reply with this. See that next email is if yes. And I'm going to make this italic and put it into parentheses. You can start by saying my budget is this, and you tell them what your budget is and what you need for that. This is a negotiation tactic. It's kind of like drawing a line in the sand. Ideally, they want to squeeze as much money as possible from you, sure. But maybe you're not a big, rich company. And if you tell them my budget is like $100, what can you do with that? Immediately that creates a standard in their mind, like a wall. Okay, all we can get is $100. It might not be true. You might be able to pay more, but whatever you feel like is fair to pay them, that's where you can start the negotiation. The other way to do this is to ask them how much would it cost, and they'll give you a rate that works for them. You can try to negotiate them down. I would advise not to negotiate too much, which is why it's actually good to offer your rate, which is reasonable for you. If you engage in too much negotiation, it's a waste of time, and sometimes it just turns people off from working with you, and you don't even know them. So negotiating is kind of not great, because you want something that's a win-win, so that if it is a win-win, you can work together in the future. Now then you ask, would this work for you? And then you can ask some follow-up questions. How much traffic do you think you can send, and how soon would you be able to deliver it? This is reasonable. The other question that's optional, because you don't want to ask too many questions at a time, the other thing is just optional, up to you. Do you have examples and results of previous promotions of your or other brands' products that you promoted? And maybe this can be a third email and not in the same email, because what you want to do is just have a kind of an easy conversation, short emails that are easy to answer, that are clear. And essentially what you'll get to after 1 or 2 emails back and forth, if they're going to work with you, when they can deliver it, you'll agree on a price. And of course, you will only email them if you've already researched them. You made sure that their traffic is super targeted to you. Their traffic is not like fake traffic, it's real traffic, and there's engagement. Only then you would go through this email sequence, and then you got yourself a good influencer who wants to work with you, or gave you a no, in which case you move on and you do this with an influencer who wants to work with you.